Okay, so we went through this already, right? Right. Okay, so now there are three classes of license. You start off as a technician, and then the next level will be general, and the final level is called amateur extra. Right? Don't worry too much about these things called element 2, element 3, and element 4. There was an exam called element 1 in the past that no longer exists. But for record purposes, that remains as element 1. So the first level you start at is element 2, which is the technician level. The exam comprises of 35 questions from a pool of 411 questions. So you actually you can get access to the 411 questions, and out of that 411, 35 questions will be given in the exam. The cost of the exam, you have to get a US license, which is 35 US dollars, and that will be valid for 10 years. You can always renew after the 10 years for another 10 years. You'll also need a Trinidad and Tobago license, which costs $100 per year. You can pay for any number of years up to 10 years ahead. So you could pay for the entire 10 years or 2 years or 3 years. And the actual cost of the exam is $15 US dollars for the exam. And there's an administration fee of $30. Right? So that's the structure of the exam. Now, the exam is usually held at the Telecommunications Authority's headquarters in Barataria. There are also ways in which you can do the exam online from at home, but you have to be monitored by cameras to make sure, people not cheating and so on. Also, there's a time limit. And with the exam at Barataria, there isn't really a time limit. It's as long as the administrators are in the building there, which could be several hours. So you could take your time and do that exam. If you don't pass it, you could write it again the same day, up to a third time or fourth time until the people are ready to leave. Also, for one fee, if you pass the technician exam, you can write the general exam on the same day at no additional cost. If you pass the technician and the general, you can then write the amateur extra on the same day, again at no additional cost. So there are advantages to trying to write the 3 exams or 2 exams on the same day. And the technician exam, when you pass that, you will have to wait a couple of weeks before your license is granted to you. And then you are now allowed to use your radio for telecommunications. And the technician level, you are allowed to use all VHF and UHF amateur bands. With the general level, you have further bands that you can use where you can communicate with people all over the world. The technician level, you'll only be limited to bands that doesn't have a wide reach. Okay, and the amateur extra, anywhere in the world you go, you will have access to all amateur bands. In TNT, we don't have the extra bands, but if you go to Canada, US, UK, etc., you are qualified to use all amateur bands. And that's my presentation there. Tessa will go through the structure of the exams and how we can take them, how we can train for them, all the videos and training facilities and so on are available. But before I pass on to Tessa, any questions on these 3 slides that we just viewed there? Please feel free to ask now. Tessa, you can turn off the sharing. Anybody here in there? Back to you, Tessa.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Sorry, not sure why it's not coming off. Hold on. Brenda's trying to call me. I'll come back on in a short while. Take question.
Okay, maybe what you guys seeing on the screen right now?
There's some leaves.
Okay. You're not seeing, maybe Tessa have to turn off sharing.
I'm seeing you as well.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to stop the sharing though. All right, let's go to questions then. Any questions on the structure, the exams, the radio in general?
What's the duration of the course? The course itself.
Okay, it's recorded video sessions. So you take your time. You could look at one per week. If you find a difficult video, you can always view it over the next week. Everything is pre-recorded. So you could space it out at your comfort. Right? Each video is roughly 1 hour long. Sometime it goes to 1 hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half or so. You can break it up in pieces, 15-minute pieces. Bite size, as they say. When I was doing the first set, I never liked to go through the entire hour because you get brain fog after a while. So I put it up in little like 15-minute segments. And when I'm comfortable with that, then I move on. So it's all up to you. You can also
And how many? Remind me how many sessions?
The first exam has 21 sessions.
21.
Yes.
Okay.
And you space it out how you comfortable. Also, Tessa is organizing to get them like printed, the questions printed, and what we found was really, really convenient. She was working on getting audio recording of the questions and answers. So you could actually learn the answers before you go into the exam room. And like while I drive in going to work, I have that playing. And after just 2 or 3 days, you know almost all the answers for each section. So it's really a way to accelerate the learning process there. She will give you the details on the recordings and so on. Right, and any further questions on the radio there, the exams or radio itself?
All right.
With these ham radios, are you able to locate, identify the location of anything, like where the other person is? Particular location?
We can't, but there's something called triangulation. Like there's an amateur radio club in existence in Trinidad, the society. And like 3 or 4 guys from different areas, they can work together to locate where the radio is transmitting from. But one person can't do it. You need 3. It's something to do with trigonometry.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Nabil, I think to get the thing off the screen, did you stop the screen share?
I
check the top and see if you stop the share, because that might be the issue there.
I'm not seeing stop written anywhere.
All right, you see and share?
Yeah.
All right. Just now, when I clicked on it, it said it will stop the other screen sharing. Let's see how that works.
You supposed to be able to stop it as the admin. I don't think I have a stop function here.
Oh, okay. Um,
Oh, okay, wait, I see it. Right. What's showing on the screen now?
just you. So it worked.
Okay, good. All right. So with no further questions, we go back to Tessa now.
Okay, I apologize for that interruption and remind me to ask for prayers at the end of this session. Basically, Camille and I have trudged through 2 of the exams and we have passed them. So what we are offering is from our knowledge of how to pass the exam. To pass the exam, you must have some knowledge of the exam or memorize the exam tool. I do not suggest you just memorize the exam tool because even though you will pass, you will not have the knowledge to function well on the radio. So part of what we do is we encourage people to do the classes. There's an amateur radio person from Trinidad who put out 2 of the classes, technician and general. He didn't do one for extra, we're still begging for it. And maybe if enough people beg, they'll eventually put it out. But because it's not necessary in Trinidad, I think they left it out, right? So part of the training he does relies on some no-nonsense guides for each of the different levels. The first level, that book is free. The second and third level, you have to pay for it, right? But he refers to the book in the 2 classes that we have. So he referred to the technician and to the general. But as I said, we have nothing for extra, right? So for us, for the first one, we had the download of the book. For the second one, well, we didn't buy the book because we were just going through the class. And for the third one, we definitely got the book because we have no class. The other thing we realized is the exam pool has all the distractors in it. So it will have the question, all the answers, and just highlight the correct answer. So what we realize is what we really need is just the question and the answer. We don't need the distractors. We don't need A, B, C, or D, because each exam they give you is different. So what might be the exam A for one question might be D on your paper. So you can't learn question T1C5, the answer is A, because it will be wrong. Depending on the exam you get, it may be D, right? So we took the exam pool, kept the question number, the question, and the correct answer. And then we went further than that and we put our audio to it. Because for the first one, what we were doing was just playing that question pool that we created with the question and answer over and over to memorize it. So what we have done is taken that question pool and broken it down to the different subsets. So for each exam, you have 10 major sections and each section has a certain amount of subsets. So each of those subsets is a file, an audio file on its own, right? So as I said, between that and the books and the online videos and stuff, you have more than what you need to pass the exam. For the last exam, we will just have to go with the book and the exam questions. Questions so far?